Cue the epic music. Welcome to the Scotland Fantasy Football League, where we take 8, maybe 9 players who know almost nothing about football. We take players from the UK, Scotland, and Detroit. We take them from literally anywhere. And we are going to play fantasy football. The most exciting game to ever be LP'd on YouTube is right here in Spintown. Welcome. Okay guys, it's time for another Scotland Fantasy Football update, and if you look at the standings here, you'll see we have a new leader on the board. The Fruit Flies are now 2-0 and the only undefeated team in the league. Everybody else in the league is 1-1, except for Ninja, who still hasn't managed to get a win yet. But if you look at the individual matchups from last week, you'll see that I did pretty good, but I took a loss. I scored the second most points of the week. But much like Kate last week, the person I was up against is the team that scored the most points of the week. So even though I did very well, I still took a loss, and that's just the way things go sometimes. I got to hand it to Hippet. She did a very nice job. I hope to see her later in the season, and I hope their results are flip-flopped. If you go ahead and look at our starting lineups, you can see me and Hippets, there's our teams, our starting lineups side by side. We both had some players that just went off and scored a ton of points. She had Reggie Bush, 39 points there from one player. That's awesome. Vincent Jackson gave her 28 points. Then over at my team, I had Willis McGahee last night on Monday Night Football give me 31. My big score was CJ Spiller, who one of my followers on YouTube. Somebody suggested that I start him because Fred Jackson was going to be injured and he's going to get all the starting snaps and everything. And, I was going to do that anyways, but I appreciate that comment pointing me in the right direction because it was the right move to make. Gave me 37 points. Next, if you want to look at my entire team, even the people I had on the bench, you can see I made some mistakes. Well, maybe not mistakes, but, I could have done better by including a couple others in my starting lineup. Dwayne Bowe. 35 points. 35 points I had from him, but he was sitting on the bench, so I didn't get any of those points in the final tally. I also had Brent Selleck. Tight end was a problem for me. That's where I didn't score very well. I had Finley in there, who only gave me like 4 points, or 3 or 4 points. And if I had Brent Selleck in there, that's 28 points. So definitely something I kind of screwed up on there. Victor Cruz was at 39 points I got from him. Yeah, I did well, but I could have done a lot better because my bench they scored a ton of points and a lot of missed points that I should have been able to get that week. Another matchup that I thought was worth noting was Ollie versus Taz. Ollie I didn't think was going to win a game all year, I'll be honest. And he lost his password to the league, and now he can't even control his team. So I asked him what moves that he wanted to make, and I told him what he needed based on what I saw on his team. And he gave me a few suggestions, and then he said, whatever you do, I just want you to make sure that you use the same strategy that I used in the draft. And if you remember back to the first video when I told you about his strategy was to pick people with funny names or interesting names. So someone like Danny Woodhead, which is on his bench, that made Ollie laugh, so he picked Danny Woodhead up. And there's a few moves that I made on his behalf using his strategy. Because Ollie couldn't see his team, and like I said, he did tell me most of the things he wanted done, and from that point on, he said, hey, I just want the funny names. And so I did it. I picked up the best possible players I could using that strategy, and apparently I picked very well for Ollie because, Danny Amendola there got him 41 points. Then you had Robert Griffin III, which is somebody Ollie actually got in the draft. That wasn't my doing. Gave him 33 points. Joshua Cribbs, which is somebody I did get for him, 18. He had a few people that just managed to carry him to a victory. And, what better person to beat up on than Taz? Because Taz has been griefing me in Scotland, so I'm happy to see Taz take a loss this week. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of Ollie's team. You know, I mentioned Danny Woodhead, but there's other people he has that had funny names like Ed Dixon. Yeah, Ollie's a sucker for a good penis joke, so it doesn't surprise me that's who he picked up, or he wanted me to pick up on his behalf. But looking at his team right there, I can't really see him getting more than a few wins this year, but, you know, he did surprise me and get one win this year, which is one more than I thought he'd get, so well done, Ollie. And he wasn't involved in the biggest blowout of the week this week. This time the Wolves get the victory over Ninja, the Detroit Rape Squad, and they have the blowout of the week. So congratulations, Wolf Sorrow. Again, your video challenge will be to see if you can pick all the winners for week 3. Here's all the matchups you get to choose from. If you pick them all right, then you will get a raffle ticket. I will put the winners of the last fantasy football video challenge thingy-babobber in the description below. I haven't checked to see if anybody won from last week yet, but I will do that before uploading and put that in the description of this video. So thanks for watching. Good luck in the video challenge, and goodbye.